Who loves kitties? I love kitties. They're just the cutest, happiest little... Hello, I'm NerdsTheWord, and today we're going to answer one question for ourselves. And that question is, should you buy Project Zomboid? Project Zomboid is a sandbox survival horror game made by the indie Stone. It's set in a post-apocalyptic, zombie-infested world where the player's only goal is to survive. There's no winning at this game. There's no beating it. The entirety of the game is spent trying not to get your fucking brains eaten. To survive, players will have to forage for food, for water, for booze, bandages, painkillers, anything that you would need in the real world. You can and have to find in Project Zomboid. Once you've gathered all your supplies, you have three options. You can find a safe house to bunker down in, you can build a safe house to hunker down in, or you can try and survive by exploring, going from safe house to safe house, carrying your supplies on you. Regardless of which choice you make, every playthrough is going to end the same. You're going to die. This game is all about the journey, not the destination. And that's what makes it so interesting and fun. I haven't had this much fun dying in a video game since Demon's Souls. And being compared to the Souls series is usually an honor relegated to only the biggest of AAA titles. Like the game says, this is the story of how you die. When you start a new game, you get to customize a new character. There's not a whole hell of a lot of character customization. You can change hair type, beard type, body type, and gender. You can't really see what the changes look like because the thumbnail's so fucking tiny. Once you're done with that, you're introduced to a profession system. It's basically picking your character class. There are a handful available, and each one adds a certain amount of benefits to your character. After that, you're ready to start picking your perks or flaws. To get a perk, you must have a certain number of flaws introduced to your character to allow you to buy said perks. Now, the exchange rate is really one-sided. Most of the time, you're going to have to pick 2, 3, maybe 4 flaws just to get one perk. But that's alright, it's kind of realistic that way. No one in real life is perfect, and no one in the Zomboid world is perfect. The graphics in Project Zomboid aren't exactly the most mind-blowing out there. All too often, indie developers try to make the most stunning, beautiful 3D graphics for their games as possible, and 9 times out of 10, they fall flat on their face. The indie Stone decided to take a different route and go for a more simplified, isometric, sprite-based aesthetic, and I think that definitely works towards the game's goal. It doesn't look like a AAA blockbuster, it doesn't play like a AAA blockbuster, but it's not supposed to. One of Project Zomboid's biggest strengths is its simplicity. To walk, you use WASD. To run, you hold shift and use WASD. To interact with the world, you either left click or right click. And to swing your weapon, kill stuff, destroy barriers, you hold control and left click. Now, normally, oversimplification like that would be a bad thing for me, but Project Zomboid just doesn't need to be overcomplicated. The gameplay is deep enough and intriguing enough that it doesn't need all of the bells and whistles that most developers put in their games. Just like with the mechanics and the graphics, the story is super simple. In fact, there really isn't any story at this time. You're just a regular person. You're a survivor of the zombie apocalypse. You want to keep surviving. That's the story in a nutshell. And it doesn't need anything more. In fact, I feel that's the best way to foster role-playing in a game. Even though this game isn't hailed as an RPG, the fact that there's no story and that your character is a blank slate really allows you to project yourself onto the character and create their story. And thanks to the game's superb sound design and soundtrack, it's relatively easy to suspend your disbelief and become immersed in the game world. Let's go over Project Zomboid's promised features and see if the indie Stone was actually truthful about what is in their game. True. Neither you nor zombies can see or hear each other unless you're in a situation that makes sense. Good job. True. I never found the edge of the map. It's huge. There's tons of shit packed in there. True. The best weapons, the best food, and the best defenses are all made, not found. And the list goes on and on. Every feature the Indie Stone promises is in the game. They're not trying to rip anybody off. They're just trying to make something really fun for everybody to play. So, should you buy Project Zomboid? Yes. Yes, you fucking should. Sure, it's rough around the edges, but it's still an alpha. When you buy it from Steam or from their actual website, you're buying an early access. Basically an alpha or a beta, whatever you want to call it. It's still in testing stages. It's rough, it isn't pretty, but by God is it fucking fun. I give this my highest rating ever, and that's 2 thumbs up and a plate of spaghetti.